What's one of the caveats for you to keep buying physical media?
Well, mostly availability. I
Yep.
mean, the thing is, we live in a world, an analytics driven world. So only the top 10% of things that get watched all the time
Mm.
are going to be available. And the thing that I think people forget, especially, I call my audience on my own YouTube channel imagination connoisseurs. And for imagination connoisseurs, we want to have the depth and breadth of all of cinema history.
Mm-mm.
So the things you can find on streaming represent a very small percent of all the movies that have ever been made. And if you can, as much credit as you can give to Umbrella and to Imprint,
Yep.
two labels, two Australian labels, they both are doing great work, putting out some incredible, especially Umbrella, putting out incredible box sets and
Yeah.
new 4K transfers. Expensive to get those discs sent to America.
Well, funnily
With
enough,
our
I've got some because I got the four. You know how some of the 4Ks come in 4K and then Blu-ray. I've still
Yeah.
got the original Blu-ray, so I'm going to go to the second-hand shop, give them the Blu-rays, and then I'm just going to get store credit.
Yep,
And
that's what I do.
the last time I did this, I said to my wife, I went, just so you can get some money. And I went, yeah, yeah. And it was like getting magic beans. I came back and she goes, so did you get some money? And I went, I was able to get, and I came back with the PlayStation 3 and all these Blu-rays. And she's like, where's the money? I'm like, you don't understand. I got Blu-rays and PlayStation. Well, you know what? I got, and I had to send it back. Ugh. And of course,
Oh, nice.
and,
How come you
well,
had to send it back?
well, the thing is, when they print so many copies, what happens is can't believe everything you read.
Now, are those really thick, the high gauge vinyl, the new vinyl?
That's around 120, 130. But what happens is because I got such a massive run. Now, it's got to be cured at a certain heat and a certain
Right.
amount of time. So you will
Yeah.
get some defects in there. And I was listening, like, oh no. My daughter was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. I'm like, no, it doesn't. So I've got a separate two-channel setup,
Sure.
and I've got a separate home theater setup. And it's 7.2.2.
Nice.
And my daughter loves it. And she surprises me. She's actually the kind of person like, Dad, can you turn it up? I'm like, if we have anything louder, I'm going to lose my hearing. Just settle down.
I love your daughter already. Always turn it up louder.
So
Can we make it louder? Yes.
yeah.
Yes, we
And we
can.
watched Godzilla, the first one by Gareth Edwards.
Right.
And we watched it in Atmos, and she was like, this is awesome. This is awesome. And I think I just bought a new preamp. It was the Anthem, a Canadian brand, and oh geez, it is just so punchy, over the top. And I love my home theater mix being like
Yeah,
that.
me too.
So
I wish I had a bigger room. I've been relegated to this small room, but because you can't have too many speakers because then
it,
they
yeah,
bleed into each other and you have to.
yes,
But I have enough. A friend of mine works for a very high end home theater company,
yep.
and he's always I got to hit him up to get me some new dual subs, and get more. I mean, you can never, we home theater aficionados. It's like, bring us some more, please, sir. Can I have some more?
You might like this. Go, if you're ever free, have a look at an interview I did. It was with Sam and Nigel, and they've worked with Baz Luhrmann and George Miller, Mad Max, and they did the sound and the Foley and so forth. So I had a chat to them, and I always say, can you just make it over the top and pan shit around? And
Oh,
so,
even on low budget, because I produce and direct and make low budget movies, and I'm always with my sound mixers, and I'm always going, come on, more surrounds. Let's just,
yeah.
and they're like, Rob, it's already as loud as it can be. I just produced an audio drama. Now we only did it in 5.1, but it sounds like a movie, and I'm really happy with it. I should get
Awesome.
you when I'm making a Blu-ray of it, so you can listen to the audio drama in 5.1 on the disc.
Yeah,
Because
awesome,
some people,
awesome.
when they stream it, I'll send you a copy.
Yeah.
I'll get you a copy of it and send it. You can play in your home theater because it kicks ass when you hear it. The
Cool.
the sound effects are amazing. It's because it's not a book on tape. It sounds like you're listening to a movie, but there's just no picture.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that was what we went for. That's
Yeah.
and I had so much fun doing the audio design. It's so cool. The shootouts, it's great. What was really fun about it, how we went about doing it, was the script was written by an author named Max Allan Collins, and he had written the graphic novel that the movie Road to Perdition was based on, the
Oh,
Tom
yeah, right.
Hanks and yeah. So he wrote that, and it's based on a series of books he wrote. So he adapted his own novel, and it's about mobsters in Chicago in the early 1930s. So the way we did it was it's 10 episodes. So he wrote 10 half an hour scripts. And we got the scripts, and the scripts are so good that I gave the script to my audio engineer. And we had a Foley team, just like in a movie,
Yeah,
and they
wow.
created all the environments because they were real places. So they
Mm-mm.
knew they could go back and look into historical records and find out, okay, well, what does this sound like? And so they started building the audio beds, the environments. We called it our digital backlot because we started building, okay, here's a speakeasy, here's a bar, here's an office, here's a big building with marble floors in the lobby. What would that sound like? So they were building the environments. Then I started recording all the actors, doing all their voices.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, Anthony LaPaglia, who's Australian, he was here in Sydney. Well, he was here. I'm not here. I'm not in Australia. He was in Sydney.
Yeah.
He was in Sydney doing Death of a Salesman in May of 2024, and he was the first person I recorded. So I would direct him. He was on the down at Woolloomooloo where there was a studio, and I was recording his dialogue with him, and I was doing it as if I was reading with him. So we were
Right.
like in this doing characters because it wasn't like somebody just reading one line. We ran the whole scene.
Yep.
And then I recorded him, and then I didn't record the actor that he was working with until 4 months later. And then I edited them together as if they're having a conversation. And then I would give my edited conversation to the audio team that would drop it into whatever environment they were in. And then I would go in and we would do a final mix when we're in the mixing stage, and we're mixing it just like a movie
Yep.
with, Dolby 5.1. If Atmos was too much, we didn't have the budget for Atmos, but the 5.1 mix is incredible.
Well, 5.1 is still, it's there's some mixes here. There's some Atmos mixes. I'm like, why did you bother? Like that doesn't matter. And
Yeah,
but going back to what you were just saying with that 5.1 mix, and if anything, sound has to be more, you're focusing on that because you don't have any visuals. So more
right.
than anything, you're concentrating on the sound. So you really have to hone that in to get that. What are we trying to express here? Because it's all via sound and no visual. So yeah, it would have been a pretty fun experience and trying to really
It was
hone that
really,
in.
and the thing about 5.1, what's really interesting is 5.1 is fairly new. It's last 35 years or whatever. Um, but one of the things about 5.1, so now we have people who have sound bars, and everything's, look, I got a sound bar. I'm like, ugh, okay, that's fine. But I do like the fact that at least people understand that a sound bar, you've got dialogue coming out of a center mono
Yeah.
channel. You have left and right stereo pairs where you've got music and effects, but then the center channel is isolated from what's happening in the left and right channels.
Mm.
Then you have your low frequency, so you have your bass channel, and then you have your rear surrounds. And so people now understand why 5.1 is exciting to have, because even people with sound bars in your college dorm room, you can hear the sound going from one speaker to the
Yes.
next. You can hear atmospheric effects behind you, or if a gun fires behind you on the left, you can hear it go across the room. So people have a real understanding of what that means. I mean, of course, I don't know how much your system costs, but I bet it was more than $500, for a decent sound bar. And, and that's the whole thing. I mean, anybody, like, I've seen speakers, I've looked at speakers that are $100,000, and I'm like, man, I'd buy those. It's just like, and people look at me like I'm absolutely out of my mind. And I'm like, yeah, but you can hear them. When I go to my friend Clark's house, my friend Clark was playing me some, and he's the guy who works with the high-end home theater, home entertainment system. I've never heard the way music sounds like it sounds on his speakers.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, and when you see a movie like Dune, with that kind of because Dune, I don't know how they recorded Dune. Dune to the Denis Villeneuve movies, Blade Runner 2049 and Dune 1 and 2 probably have the best sound mixes ever done for a movie ever. And when you listen to them on high-end speakers, there's like nothing in the world that sounds like that. And you realize where your money goes. A lot of people just, wow, what do you care? And why just have a mono speaker? And I'm like, because all the work has been done. When you have a home theater system, you realize that, you mean on this disc, the sound has been here the whole time. I just didn't have a 5.1 system. And I'm like, yes, you're missing half of all that work. I mean, weeks of work was put into those sound fields.
Yeah.
And when you listen to something like Dune on a great system, it's transcendent.
Yeah, it does. You're absolutely right. It makes a huge difference. And
same with music.
Yeah. And I've had people come over and I say, look, and it's a thing I actually have between all of my reviews. I say, look, my room acoustics, my setup's different to yours. So sound is subjective.
Is it though? When you have the right equipment.
When
you have the right equipment.
So I had someone come in and they're like, I don't know if I'll notice the difference. I went, I won't be offended if you don't. Let's sit down. I'm gonna put something on. And they sat there and went, all right, yeah, I get it. I'm like, yeah, you're hearing things you never heard before. And I said, and I set up this 2-channel audio system for this lady. She had a budget. And I said, look, you've had nothing, so this will still sound good. And it's going to reinvent your music collection. You're going to go
back and listen to everything again.
That's
everything.
It. And I said, you know what? She did that. And she's like, I get it. And I said, yeah. And if you want to get into it more, you can take that next step. But if you're happy with this, but isn't it good just to enjoy that music? And I say the same, and I reckon soundbars a perfect starting point, because I always say to people, TV sound is shit. They're so thin now. The speakers in those TVs are terrible. And I say, just buy a soundbar, and I bet you any money when you watch that TV show or that movie, you're going to get a totally different experience. And I even used this on one of my reviews. I said, George Lucas said 50% of the experience comes from the sound. Movie-going experiences. So
I remember the first time I was at this guy's house, and it was the first time I was at his house, and he was very proud of his sound system. And I'm always like, I'm sure it's great, thinking whatever. So I walk in, and I could tell right away that this was extraordinary. Like, he had some real money. There was the brand names, and everything. This was not garbage. And he goes, I want you to listen to something. And he put on a laser disc, and it was the live Eagles concert that was recorded on a sound stage.
Yes.
He put it on and he just cranked it. It sounded like I was sitting in that room with the Eagles. And it was at that time, this is, 30 years ago. At that time, it was the best home sound I had ever heard, ever. And it was when, the technology was starting to get really, really good. and I'd never heard anything like it. I'm like, how do you even, how is this even being recreated? Like what speakers? And then I started looking into how speakers were made and what hi-fi audio really was all about. And it was, and the sound was so tight.
Yeah.
You know, it was so, there was no reverb, nothing was buzzing. It was incredible. And I couldn't stop watching, you know, Hotel California because it started with the percussion. They're playing the bongos. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like literally, it was unreal. And I'm like, that's what I've been missing my whole life. That's what I've been missing.
So you've got
And you
5.1 now or an Atmos?
I have 722
Ooh, nice.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the problem is the room is small.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would like, I mean, I wish I had a much bigger room for a sound field. There just isn't that in our house, which is why my dream, you know, if I ever make millions of dollars, is I want to build a separate building.
Oh, built, yeah, to have your actual.
And have a whole separate home theater with probably like 25 seats.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
Wow.
to be huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like a friend of mine who's a pretty famous director has those $500,000 laser projectors, movie theater projectors.
Yeah.
I think his home theater has 56 speakers.
Jeepers.
Dude, it is. And the funny thing is, he never turns it up loud enough. Whenever I go to his house, I'm like, hey man, can we
Yeah, just
you know, I mean, it's a huge room,
yeah.
but it's, you know, these guys when they really know what they're doing, the audio is so incredible.
Yeah.
And you take movies in there like The Right Stuff or something, some airplanes and
Oh, and that got
battles.
best out, didn't it?
Yeah.
The right stuff. Do you reckon?
And it's coming out. It's coming out in 4K in the next, I think, 6 months. And it's going to have an Atmos mix.
Oh, I'm definitely getting that. Do you reckon, because you've worked on the behind the and you've been around directors, do you reckon, how many directors do you think take the whole package in? Like they consider the sound, they consider, you know, because some might just, this is the performance I want. But then I remember a director saying, I didn't realize sound played such a role, or I didn't realize this played such a, and I think, but you're the director, shouldn't you be looking everything at a...
You'd be surprised.
Right.
You'd be surprised, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they come from like Sam Mendes, who directed Skyfall and he directed American Beauty that won Best Picture. He came out of the theater. So for him, the idea of understanding what a 7.1 or a 9.1 or 13, whatever you can do now with Atmos, no clue, because it's not, you know, he's concentrating on the actors, the performances, the cinematography. So that's why you want to have, when I was doing Lord of the Rings, I was going up to Skywalker Sound and we were filming the sound guys and interviewing the sound guys doing the Lord of the Sound for Lord of the Rings. And they're artists. That's a whole separate group of people. Now, if directors really know and understand how to use sound, that they're in their sound mixes, you know, they usually come in the end when all the sounds are put in and they're ready to mix.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised at how many directors don't understand that. And for me, I mean, as an aficionado, I haven't made many my stuff has not been financially successful. So I never made it to the upper echelons. I'm still trying, but I've never made it to the upper echelons of directing like level Spielberg or Denis Villeneuve. But if I was that way, because when I'm editing, because I'm a film editor as well, when I'm editing, I'm thinking about sound. I'm putting in temp sound. So when you watch movies we're cutting, we always have because you can't tell if a movie's working unless all the sound effects are in. Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised. People from the industry are like, I'm always like, no, the sound's not really, it's not ready to hear. Oh, it doesn't matter. I work in the industry. I get it. And then someone's phone won't ring. Like we will have forgot to put the sound effect of somebody's phone ringing and they just pull their cell phone out and go, hello. And the first thing they'll say, somebody will go, oh, you're going to put a phone ringing there, aren't you? Yes, yes, we are. I mean, you told me you're in the industry, of course. It's just like when we're filming that, there is no cell phone, the sound doesn't go off. You have to pull the phone out. And it's funny but yeah, I think a lot of people, you'd be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of great directors that don't pay much attention to sound. They expect another group of people to do it. And to be fair, there's nothing like a great sound design team because you have the Foley artists doing all the effects. You have the people that know how to mix music, doing the music mixing. So when they all get together and orchestrate it and turn it into, it's like a symphony in itself. All the sound effects that go into a film.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So I don't want to take up your time too much, but so one thing, I'll get back onto the physical media. Your guilty pleasure movie. You know it's bad, but you love it.
Oh, well, okay. I have a few.
Yeah, so do I. So do I.
But one of my favorites, actually, there are two that come to mind. One is an Italian Star Wars ripoff that was made in 1978 called Star Crash.
I didn't even know one existed. Wow.
Yeah, and it's what I love about it is it's these Italians with no money, but they use all these techniques, old school techniques, stop motion animation.
Yeah.
The model kits of the spaceships they built, I can tell what models they use. Like I'm like, that's a part. And the acting, I mean the David Hasselhoff, Knight Rider's in it. Joe Spinell, the Maniac, is in it. I mean, there's all these. It's a crazy cast, but it's very low budget, although it has a great John Barry score. But what I love about it is, yeah, it's cheap and it's not good, but everybody who made it put all this love into it. It's almost like watching your kids school play. It's not a great movie, but I love it.
Yeah.
But now a different movie. There's a teen movie from the 80s that stars James Spader from The Blacklist, and he played Ultron. James Spader. Yeah. It's called Tough Turf. TUFF Turf. And it's basically Kim Richards from Escape to Witch Mountain's in it. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. is in it in a very early role. And James Spader plays this movie's ridiculous. It's made in the 80s, but it seems like it's from the 1950s. And it's about this rich kid from the East Coast whose father lost all his money. Now he's a cab driver in LA. And then James Spader's a high school student, and he goes to high school and he runs afoul of the head gang leader, but the head gang leader's he's 30. And he's going out with Kim Richards, who's this teased hair. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. But James Spader is just awesome. And I love this movie. And it was directed by Fritz Kirsch, who directed the original, why am I drawing a blank? In the cornfield, the kids in the Children of the Corn. Oh. No, Children of the Corn. He directed the first Children of the Corn.
You said cornfields. I'm like, aliens. Hold on.
Yeah, bro. Signs is a good one. Because they have great cornfields in that movie. And those are two guilty pleasures. They're both from Star Crashers from 78, Tough Turfs from 85. They're not good. But they are good. I would dare say that I love those two movies. Mm-mm. But there are also B movies like Battle Beyond the Stars, which is an American Star Wars ripoff that I actually think is pretty good. It's low budget, but I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of, and I don't apologize for my guilty pleasures.
Oh, neither do I. I brought it up yesterday.
Body Melt.
Oh,
the Australian Body Melt. That's a guilty pleasure.
Well, mine would have to be, and I wasn't sure if Keith Sutherland was like, I don't really want to be here, I'll just phone it in, or I'm loving this, so I'm gonna go, crazy with it. I'm gonna and that's Pompeii with Kit Harington. What? We laughed. I loved it. I actually thought to myself, we got a gladiator movie and a disaster movie. Why wouldn't you? That's
you and I. We park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. But that's the thing. I mean, I love stuff like that. you
Yeah,
know, and
it's great. I love
it's
it.
but it can be it only is good if it's done with conviction.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you, if the people know, like I don't like the Sharknado movies very much, even though a friend of
Oh
mine made
yeah.
them
Yeah.
because they're supposed to be goofy.
Mm-mm.
Like I like goofy movies that are made with conviction.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like there's a great British science fiction movie that was directed by Toby Hooper, who directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that also came out in '85 called Life Force.
Oh yeah, I
Have you
know
ever?
of it. I haven't seen it.
Life Force is it's pretty goofy, but it has conviction. You have a beautiful space vampire woman she never wears any clothes in the movie until the very end. She's walking around Hyde Park in London with nothing on, with her beautiful breasts in the moonlight, and she's a space vampire. And whoever she turns into a space vampire, their bodies desiccate and then they reanimate like an hour later and blow up. I mean, it's Life Force is awesome, but you have to watch there's two versions of it. You
Oh
have to
right.
watch you have to watch the international version. You can get them. Scream Factory released it in the United States and Arrow released it in the UK. That's why you
Arrow.
have physical media.
Yeah, that's exactly
Arrow's the
right.
best.
Arrow is
Yeah.
awesome. There was one movie I got on physical media and it was 4K. Stephen Summers. One of his, actually, speaking of one of his movies, The Deep,
Deep Rising.
Deep Rising.
That's my favorite Stephen Summers movie.
That's so hard to get.
That movie's dope. I love Deep Rising. It also has the greatest ending ever. The end is the best.
I I watched another one of his films and I watched it again. I was laughing out loud in some bits, but I was like, this is awesome. I don't know why I didn't get it at the time. And that's
He made The Mummy and Van Helsing and the G.I.
Van
Joe
Helsing.
movies.
The first 10 minutes of Van Helsing in black and white, the score by it wasn't Hans Zimmer. Who was it? It wasn't Jerry Goldsmith. Anyway, that score is just top notch. So that whole first 10 minutes, and I'm like, this is brilliant. There's some bits in there I laughed out loud. I love that movie. Go watch Van Helsing.
It's hard. That's a hard movie to get through for me because it's hard. It's hard to watch that movie because of the
Yeah.
CG and but I totally get it. That's a perfect example. That's
Go
a
over the
perfect
top.
example. Yeah. Oh, totally.
It's great.
It's so over the top. And, Hugh Jackman made it 2 years after he made, and of course, Kate Beckinsale's in it. So
Yeah.
what's not to love if Kate Beckinsale's in it? Now I'm going to find I'm looking because I want to know. The composer was Alan Silvestri.
That's
Back to the
Avengers.
Future, Alan Silvestri,
Silvestri.
and Avengers Endgame, Portals, Alan
Yes.
Silvestri.
That score was amazing. I so much so I went, I gotta go get that score. It was
Yeah.
just awesome. It was awesome. But that is a guilty pleasure. And then the kids are like, Hugh Jackman's turning into a spoilers, been out for a while. Here we go. He turns into a werewolf. I'm like, what else could you ask for? This like, it's nuts.
What's not to love?
I know. It's awesome. Well, look, Rob, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me and
This
doing
was so
this.
much fun. Thanks for having me. I had so much fun yammering away with you. Call me anytime.
Oh, that's great. We'll definitely have to do it again. Now, where can people find you? Because
You can find me. I'm on Instagram, Robert Meyer Burnett. You can find me on my YouTube channel, which is called The Burnett Work, because my last name is Burnett, and I like a TV network. So The Burnett Work, and I do a show called Robservations.
yes,
And you can also find me on the John Campea Show every day on YouTube at 11 a.m. We do
well,
an
go
entertainment
check it
show
out.
5 days a week.
Rob is full of lots of history of films. You know it back to front. You've worked in the industry, and I always appreciated your input on the John Campea Show. It was awesome. And
It's fun. I love doing it.
So keep up the awesome work. Enjoy your
It was
Friday
great
night.
to talk to you.
Yeah,
Yep.
you too. Thanks, Rob, and I
This
appreciate
has been
it.
great.